Hiding in the bungalow, she felt so young. The night she was much younger than the other. Feeling like a prisoner there in the light. She stood, she knew they couldn't miss her. And then they took her.
Hey guys, I hope you had a wonderful week. Today we're going to be tackling a few areas in my kitchen that I notice pretty much daily and they never quite make it onto the to-do list. My silverware and utensil drawers were full of fallen food and crumbs, and my bottom cabinets where I store glassware and pots and pans, they were really dusty and needed a good wipe down. So today's project was making time to clean the areas in my kitchen that normally take a back seat. And then towards the end of today's video, we're gonna do a little fun homemaking, and I'm gonna bring in a couple new decor pieces for my kitchen, and I'm gonna show you guys the new table that I got, the new used kitchen table. I was able to source one secondhand, and I can't wait to show you. My name is Dinah if you're new, and I post weekly cleaning and homemaking videos with a little mom life sprinkled in, and so welcome and let's get started. So the first thing I'm doing today is wiping off these counters so that I can start emptying out the cupboards underneath and I can just put everything up on the counter. And it'd been a really long time since I'd actually physically pulled everything out and wiped the cupboards out. So as you'll see, they're really, really dusty. So after I had taken everything out, it was time to wipe it out. And of course I'm using Branch Basics. I love Branch Basics. They're non-toxic and they're plant and mineral based. And no, I'm not sponsored, although I would really love to be, but I just really love their cleaning system. This has needed a good cleaning for a while, but you know, there's just nothing like getting in those tight, awkward spaces and cleaning. So I have been putting it off. And then after I cleaned it out, I did want to do a quick declutter. I got rid of this really big cake pan, and then I had this fancy potato masher. I had seen somebody on the Food Network use it, and they swore it made like these really nice, luxurious mashed potatoes, but I didn't see any difference when I used it, and it just creates one more dish, so I avoid using it. And then I also got rid of my bundt pan. I think I've made one bundt cake. I bought that pan for a recipe, and I've never made a bundt cake since, and I think I've had it for like over 6 years, and I've never used it, so I think it's safe to get rid of the bundt cake. Then I kind of reorganized everything and started putting it back. So this is what this cupboard looks like. I put my baking sheets down here, our toaster, then these are my different cake pans and like cheesecake pans, my cake lifters and bench scraper, my bread pans, and then behind this basket I put both my rolling pins, and I decided to put my smaller like baking utensils, like my whisks and stuff, inside this basket. And then there's my tortilla press and tortilla warmer. And then down below, this is where I keep my little glass bowls. These are bowls that I don't use very often. Usually I take those out around like Thanksgiving. And then underneath this plastic bowl, I have my pie dishes, and then my measuring cups, and then my little sifter hangs here on a command strip that I put up there. years ago, but it works so nice just to keep this out of the way. All right, on to the next.
Just wanna go away from here. I've got my tentacles out tonight. Anyway, you're gonna wonder why. Never thought I could get you back. The game's always on. I know the signs, it's a bitter one. It is a bitter one. Just play it. Another liar in the game. I got a fire at your ship and have it made. Just play, play. I said I'm sad, and I don't wanna wait for this. Just wanna go, yeah. Just wanna go away from here. I've got my tentacles out tonight. Anyway, you're gonna wonder why. Never thought I could get you back. The game's always on. I know the signs, it's a bitter
And this is where I keep my pots and pans. So I kind of move things around in here. For a long time I had my stainless steel pans right here, and I had my cast iron like kind of tucked in the back here. But things have changed and I use my cast iron more than I use my stainless steel. So I decided to swap those so that these are more accessible. And then we have our cutting boards, my big pot in the back. It's where I keep our lids for the pots. And then this is a pot. I like this one specifically because I like to make popcorn in it. And it had that little strainer basket thing, but I don't think I've ever used a strainer basket. So I'm gonna throw the strainer basket away and just keep the pot. And then here's my big strainer. And then here is my big pot. Usually use that for like spaghetti. And then my glass dishes. And then I also moved these around because I had these bigger casserole dishes here in the front. And I had this little one in the back. And I hardly use my casserole dishes, maybe like once a month. And I use this thing multiple times a week, so I also moved this thing closer to the front. That's it, nice and clean. I probably do need to get something to store my pots in better, because I know it's not the most functional, but so next I was moving on to my silverware drawer, and then after this we're also going to do my utensil drawer on the right side of the stove. But these just had fallen crumbs and food in here. And another thing that I wanted to do was add some of this non-slip padding stuff. I've had it for a while and I tucked it in here so I would remember when I see it to go ahead and cut some and put it underneath this little tray and the dividers. And I just haven't done it, and these organizers slide all over the place. And it is kind of annoying to open the drawer and have the utensils be kind of like tucked back because they always slide backwards. And it's just one of those annoying things. Every time you open it, everything's sliding back and forth. And so I've really been meaning to do this, and this was really awesome. I did this to this drawer here and also my other utensil drawers on the right side of the stove, and it has made such a big difference. It's the small things, right? This minor annoyance 30 times a day. It really added up, and it has been so lovely having everything right where it's supposed to be.
inside my head, wishing you the best of life instead, but not yet. Baby, no, I don't wanna go. You know how much I hate sleeping alone. I can never make it on my own. Tell me what I'm gonna do. Tell me how I'm gonna live my life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. Tell me how I'm gonna get through. I don't wanna take another life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. You, oh you, I keep wishing we'll end up together. You, oh you.
I was moving on to this little medicine cabinet here. We like to keep stuff like this really accessible in the kitchen. This is where we keep our vitamins and like pain relievers, medicine for the kids. I like to keep it right here, really accessible in the kitchen. So I wiped out this cupboard and then I decluttered a couple things that had been in here for a long time and they just needed to be put away, like a card we'd made for Nico a couple years ago. I don't know why we've just had it in here, but I finally went and put that away. Moving on to this cupboard here on the left, as you can see, it's not too messy in here overall, but this little corner of the cupboard, this is where I keep my recipes and just some random stuff in the kitchen. And so I wanted to kind of go through everything, some random mail and things. And these recipes, I just kept out what I use on a regular basis. And then a lot of these I only use once in a while, but I tend to print recipes that I really love. So if I tried it and I loved it, then I'll print it. And so I do love all these recipes, but I don't need them out. So I'm gonna find a different place for them. And I also need to start a binder. I wanna start my own recipe book and save all my most favorite recipes. And then just kind of condensed and organized, put some of Bear's treats together and just tidied it up a little bit. Okay guys, and then it was time to get into this bad boy. This is super gross. I'm not sure why it's so greasy inside this one cupboard. I mean, obviously it is right over the stove, so I think that might be why, but I'm not exactly sure how it all got in here. And I'm gonna be straight up, I have never cleaned this cupboard. I know that it's been this dirty since we moved in, and I've just never cleaned it. It's just been one of those spots, I just like ignore it. I don't really go in here. And being so short, when I open the cupboards, I can't really see in here anyways, so it's just kind of out of sight, out of mind. I don't know how it got so dirty. I'm not sure if it's just like the cutouts on the bottom of the cupboard and, you know, grease from the stove and the microwave is able to get up in there. Maybe there's a leak in the kitchen vent system, possibly the microwave that was in this house before this one. Maybe it was a recirculating vent. I didn't know anything about microwaves when we first moved in, so it could have been a recirculating one and I wouldn't even have known, and so maybe it was just recirculating the grease in the house. So I'm not totally sure, but I'm curious to see now that it's clean if it gets greasy again. And then I moved on to the top vent of the microwave and wiped this part down too. And the last thing we're gonna do before we move on to the kitchen updates and the new decor is wipe down my cabinets. I'm just using some really hot water in Dawn to give these cupboards a really good scrub.
What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. Listen to me as I slow it down. Dreams are yours if you want it. Treat them right, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth it. Slow it down. Dreams are yours if you want it. Treat them right, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth it. I never left a stone unturned.
If you didn't see last week's video, I had mentioned that we were looking for a new table, one with 5 chairs because the one that we had only had 4 and we are a family of 5. We wanted an older wood stained table with leaf inserts and we found one for $250 on OfferUp, and I'm so happy. It's so beautiful. I really fell in love with the chairs and I thought it was so cute. The chairs are wood, most of the table is wood. The only part that's not is the top. The top of the table is a Formica laminate. I'm actually really happy that we found it with that. The Formica laminate is like kitchen counter laminate, so it's gonna be really heavy duty and really sturdy and hold up to kids. So I thought it was just perfect. I did want to decorate my table just a little bit, but before I did that, I wanted to clean up this area. So this water machine had been to the right of this window in the corner here, but once we got this table, it's a little bit longer and wider for this space. It just felt better to move the water machine out from behind the table in the corner over to the left of the window. And to make this area a little bit cleaner, I bought this flush mounted concealer kit just to help, because every inch counts when your kitchen is small, and so the water machine plug jutting out from the wall was kind of annoying, and when I'd walk by sometimes I would bump it, so it just makes it a little bit better. And I actually had Nico do this when he got home, like mount it to the wall because I didn't want to mess it up. And it's not the most beautiful thing, but functionally it's really, really nice and so much better to have it like this than the dangling cord on the floor. And then I got rid of my whiteboard calendar. I have had that whiteboard calendar on this wall since we've moved in. So for 9 years we've used that and I write on it every month, but it was just ugly to me. I wanted to get rid of it. I've been wanting to get rid of it, and I decided to get something different for the fridge, which I will show you in next week's video. I decided to add a little bit of art over here. I saw this super beautiful picture on Amazon, and it reminded us of our property that we have up north. It's in the Arizona high desert, and it's scattered with juniper trees, and the skies are just so blue, and it just really reminded me of it, so I had to get it. And then my mom actually made me that little pig plaque. I have been looking for a little pig decoration for the kitchen, and my mom has this little craft booth at this place where you can rent space, and so she sells crafty stuff in there, and I was looking through the stuff in her booth online and I saw that and I was like, it's so cute, and so my mom ended up sending it to me. So for this table, I found this really cute runner on Amazon, and I also decided to get some table mats just to help keep the table in really good condition. I will link everything I can down below for you guys. And then while I was shopping at Fry's, I saw these flowers on sale for $1.40, and so I had to pick them up, and I just popped those into a little vase for the table. And I'm hoping to find some really cute like tie cushions for the chairs. I think that would look so cute, but they're really expensive. I was looking online, so I'll have to keep my eyes out for that.
I'm selfish. Do you understand? I'm desperate to hold your hand. I'm losing myself again. Trying to reach you.
Okay guys, and here's the finished table. It's really simple but really cute. I thought it was just so beautiful. I love the little colors and it just made my heart so happy. But that is going to be it for today, guys. If you got anything from today's video, I'd love it if you'd give this video a like, and if you happen to have the feature, you can scroll past the like and share button to the hype feature. You can hype my video and give it some points, and it really helps out small channels. Please subscribe if you're new. I would love to have you, and I will see you guys back here next week.
Control.